I hope you guys are ready for this because it's going to be a long video. I just got my coffee, so we're gonna get started. Let's do this. Hey everyone, I appreciate you guys all wanting to see my Sephora recommendations. I asked you guys on Instagram if you guys wanted me to do this video, and I got a lot of responses saying yes. So if you guys are ready to see what I recommend from Sephora, make sure to stay tuned because that's what we're gonna dive into. I got my coffee ready, so we're good to go. I have everything organized. Let's see how long this takes. So I'm gonna go ahead and mention one perfume that I totally recommend. I get this every year, and I have 3 of them. I have this one, I have the one in the background, which has a little bit left, and then I have one in my purse. This here is the Daisy Marc Jacobs Oh So Fresh. It is by far my favorite scent I've ever had. It's got a little bit of a sweetness to it, but it isn't overdoing it at all. It's very light. When you spray it, you will smell the little bit of the sweetness that comes off on it, but it goes away pretty quickly. If you have not tried the Marc Jacobs fragrances, I definitely recommend checking them out. At least test one of them. I'm telling you guys, they smell incredible. Primers. Okay. The first one I wanted to speak of is the Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. This is definitely a primer that you only use to target the areas that you want your pores to be minimized. You're going to see the best use out of this if you use it all over your pores. I have used it on my textured areas. It doesn't really do a whole lot to it, but to minimize pores, this is what you want to go in with. Primer, I do find that you have to give a little bit more love than some of your other primers where you can kind of just blend it in and then go. This one you really want to press into the pores, and you really want to push into it, and you really want to kind of melt it into your skin. It works, but you just got to spend a little bit more effort to blend it in, but it's definitely a really great primer. The next primer I have, this one here, is the FARSALI Skin Tune Blur. This one in particular by far has been my favorite. I have this one, and I also do have the FARSALI Rose Gold Elixir. I have not played with this enough to know whether or not how I feel about it and whether or not I would recommend it, but this one here, I actually only have about a quarter of it is left, but I see this a really good primer for all over the skin. While this is a blurring primer that's supposed to minimize like pores and supposed to give you more of a flawless base, I feel like it does a really good job at kind of hydrating the face, minimizing those pores, really getting that foundation to stick on and really making your face look as best as it can. And then to finish off with setting sprays, I'm going to go in with the very first setting spray, which is kind of a cult favorite around here. It is the Urban Decay All Nighter. You can get the All Nighter, you can get the Chill, you can get the Oil Control. They're all really good. This is a great setting spray. But if you were looking to change it up and maybe you want to try a different setting spray, this is one that I have just recently gotten, but you guys can see I've already used it quite a bit. This is the FARSALI Rose Gold Skin Mist. It is the 24-hour gold infused Hydrate, Prime, and Set. The smell on this, I can't explain it, but it is bomb. Because this is more of a luxury product, I do find myself trying to savor it. So you could definitely set your makeup. You could definitely use it to prime your face, add some moisture, and to set it. I personally only use mine to set it just because I want to savor every ounce of this. If you are sensitive to scents, this is something you may want to stay clear from because there is a very sweet scent to it. Doesn't linger, but it is there and it's very sweet. When it comes to foundations, I like a foundation that is going to be anywhere between a medium to full coverage because there are areas that I need to cover up, and I also look for something that is typically mattifying or more of a satin finish. Most of these are somewhere between a medium to full coverage but one, which is very impressive. But let's start off with the very first one. This here is the Too Faced Born This Way medium to full coverage foundation. So the shade that I have is in Natural Beige. This is definitely starting as a medium coverage. You can use a brush or a sponge with this foundation. I find that I like to use a sponge with this because this is a full-on medium coverage to begin with. By using a sponge with this, I find that it will give me a more of a flawless finish. So this is a really great one to try out. Next foundation I have is the NARS Radiant Longwear Foundation. It's a little dark right now, but look at that. I'm getting there, right? Like, I've been self-tanning a little bit and I'm starting to get there. This foundation can be utilized for oily skin or dry skin. It's got more of a radiant finish to it, which I wouldn't necessarily say it's super dewy, but it's going to give you more of that natural skin look, and it's going to give you more of that hydrated, healthy glow to that skin. But you can definitely set this, which is what I do. I like to set mine. I like to go in with this with the beauty sponge. I find that I get the best coverage with it that way. The only thing I would advise with this foundation is to just steer clear of using it on like the hottest days, because with it being more of a radiant finish, and if you are super oily or you just get really sweaty, you're gonna look like a hot mess. But nonetheless, it's still a good foundation for more like everyday wear. Just don't wear it when it's like 90 to 100 degrees out. You get it? Let's move into a mattifying foundation. So this foundation, I've mentioned this foundation numerous times. I absolutely love this foundation. It has been a cult staple in my collection for years now, and it is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place foundation. I go in between shades quite often. The one I have right now is in 3N1, which is Ivory Beige, and I do find that these tend to oxidize. If you want a full coverage, and I mean full coverage foundation from the get-go, this is gonna be the one. If you have dark spots, hyperpigmentation, acne scarring, anything like that, this is a great, great foundation to have. If it's super hot and we're outside and I still need coverage and nothing is holding, I know for a fact that I can definitely go in with this and this will keep the hold all day long. The last one I want to mention is the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder Youth Boosting Perfect Skin Foundation. They call this a daily luminous tint. While I don't find that it covers everything on my skin, I do find that if I use this with a brush, which I typically use, I don't use this with a sponge, because if I do, the sponge will just suck everything up and you really won't get any coverage out of it. You can definitely cover up like any darkness that you have, but if you have any stubborn scarring like I do, you probably will need to go in with a concealer, but I do like the way it wears. Those there are my foundations. I love, love, love talking about foundations. Like I could talk about foundations all day long, but we need to move into concealers. So diving into concealers, I'm probably going to mention this, and about 1,000 other people are going to mention this also in their recommendations, but I have to give it to Too Faced. They still have, in my opinion, some of the best concealers out there. This concealer can be used as a concealer or as a foundation, which is what I use it as sometimes. I go between light beige and natural beige. So natural beige on me looks like this. This here is natural beige, and this is what I use as concealer slash foundation. I can apply 3 lines of this concealer on each side of my skin and use a brush to blend it out, and it will cover. And that is what I love this concealer for. It is coverage that you need, whether you're covering up under eyes where you have darkness underneath your eyes, if you have hyperpigmentation, again, if you have scarring. I speak of scarring a lot just because I suffer from it. So because of that, I find a lot of these products really are great and geared towards hiding that kind of stuff. If you set this with powder, you can flawlessly make this a foundation and it'll look great for a few hours. Definitely isn't going to be super long wearing foundation like some of the other foundations, but if you just need to get out of the house and you need something to cover up really quickly, this is a really great concealer. I have one palette that I want to share. I feel like this palette doesn't get enough love. And I talk about this all the time in tutorials, and a lot of you guys that do have this palette, you guys also say you guys really love it also, and you guys say the same thing, like it doesn't get as much love as it should. And this here is the Tarte Park Avenue Princess Contour Palette. Oh, Chisel Palette, I apologize. It is called the Chisel Palette. So this has got a highlighting and bronzing slash contour, really sturdy. So if you travel with it, if you drop it, it's not going to shatter. I've dropped this numerous times. So I actually do use both of these. You've got a pinker shade and a more yellow tone shade. I can find myself using these both and I have no issues with it. For bronzers, I like to go in with a combination of this one and this one. All around, you could definitely just take your brush and kind of just swirl it in there and get a really nice bronze effect. So I really love this product. I wish people would give it some more love because it definitely deserves it. Let's talk about liner and brows really quick. They are all by the same brand. So the liner that I really wanted to mention is the Roller Liner Eyeliner by Benefit. This one's new and I do like it. I've been looking for a good eyeliner. I stopped using my Kat Von D one. I feel like this one is very comparable to the Kat Von D liquid eyeliner. It isn't as matte black as the Kat Von D tattoo liner, but it's black and it works and it's very user-friendly. It's very easy for beginners. You can get a nice thin line. It's a really nice, easy way to make a flick. It's just a really great eyeliner, and I really do like it. Then I have for brows, my two favorite brow products have got to be the Foolproof Brow Powder and the Benefit Brow Pencil. This is the Precisely My Brow. I use the shade between 3.5 for every day, and if I really need to get more depth on my outer edges, I go up to shade 5. I do like to use them both. I do find myself using the inner portion for my brows and then the outer portion for my brow. I do like this. I actually use this as a brow powder for every day because I like the way that it gives. It is long lasting. The formula is really good. So let's do lippies really quick, and then we'll do palettes because lippies are gonna be pretty quick. You guys know I have a really strong love for lip glosses. Like, I absolutely adore lip glosses. And I have to say, if I had to recommend any lip gloss to you guys, I would definitely recommend the Benefit Punch Pop lip glosses. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love these, you guys. They are so colorful. They're so cute. Pink Berry is by far my all-time favorite one. It is in my purse right now in the car. But this is another one I also really love, which is called Sugar Cookie. Just a really great glossy gloss. It's not sticky, and they come in this really cute like tube. I don't know why, but I feel like it's definitely reminds me of like 90s vibes. Okay, so let's do palettes. Yeah, let's talk about some palettes. I did just purchase my very first Natasha Denona palette here about a week and a half ago. I have not played with it yet. It is one of the Natasha Denona minis. So many of you guys have been telling me that I need to dive into Natasha Denona. I cannot justify spending that much money on a palette, but when I was at Sephora, I saw the little mini palettes and I was like, all right, let me try out the mini palettes. If I like the minis and I like the formula, maybe I'll consider it. It really, really has to be that bomb. So just an FYI, I did pick up a Natasha Denona mini palette. I still have to play with it, but I know so many people have recommended those in their eyeshadow palette collections. Now let me bring it back down to a little bit more of affordable product. These here are the Huda Obsession palettes, you guys. I picked this up in my last Sephora haul. These Huda Obsession palettes are just so freaking adorable. They're definitely at that right price point. I think they retail for about $27, $26, somewhere like there. So it's really affordable. She has numerous Obsession palettes to go for. So she has different colors. She's got mauve, neutrals, more cool tones. She's got one that's got like a bunch of really cool colors. She's got this one. She's got like orange, just tons of colors, you guys. The mattes are super, super pigmented. They might feel like they're a little bit splotchy when you first apply them, but they blend out really, really well. You could definitely use a brush to apply these metallic and shimmer shades, but the best way to get the best payoff and get that true color on these palettes is by using your fingers. Okay, and then the last palette I'm going to mention, which it really is just in general, they are the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. Now, she just recently came out with the Riviera. I did not pick up the Riviera. I plan not to. I did look at it in store, and while it is a very beautiful palette, I just don't feel like it is a palette that I'm going to use all the time. I'll use it a few times, and then I really see myself just putting it to the side. But the Sultry, the Soft Glam, and the Modern Renaissance, in my opinion, have really the same formulas to them. So if you have one of those palettes and you were looking to invest in another one of those palettes, you can keep, you know, rest assured that those formulas are all the same, so you don't have to worry if like the, you know, it's going to be a bad palette or not. So now that we're done with a makeup that I recommend from picking up from the Sephora sale, let's do skincare. Oh, I love skincare. And I don't know why all of a sudden just got really into it. I don't know if it's because I'm aging and I'm like, oh my God, I need all the help I can get, or just because I really, really am focusing on my skin way more than I used to. And so when I was doing my recommendation list, I found myself finding skincare products to recommend very quickly. Let's start off by saying, and we'll start off with this brand, is Dermalogica. And I have been blown away by the transformation that my skin has gone through using Dermalogica. And the very first product I want to mention is the Dermalogica BIOLUM-C. And I rave about that stuff all the time. And then I saw the price point and I was like, oh no, because it's really expensive. It's like almost $90. But it is by far the #1 product that has really transformed my skin. It has given so much of my acne texture it has taken it away, and it is incredible. I did recently have a really bad sting of breakouts because I was using a primer, broke me out all over again. But I will show you guys a clip of my skin, and you guys will see my skin before I used this primer that broke me out really was because of the BIOLUM-C. It was incredible, and because of that, I was telling my husband the other day when I saw that they were doing the Sephora sale, I was like, I think I'm gonna go and pick it up because it would be such a great time to buy it with the 20% off discount. And then the last one I have is the Dermalogica Active Moist. Now this one is recommended for combination skin. It's oil-free and it's going to give more of a lightweight finish. I love this because it doesn't feel heavy on my skin and I can use it day or night. If I ever have like a sting of breakouts like I was having, I go in with this day and night because I know that this isn't going to irritate or disrupt my skin or make it feel, you know, like it's not working. And I do find that it moisturizes my skin. I do like the way it moisturizes my skin, and I like the way it makes everything look. Which leads me to the other one. The reason I started using this one was because the other one, which I do plan to pick up, hopefully, I just got it as a birthday sample, which I was so excited about, and it is the Drunk Elephant PROTINI. That was one product that you guys had actually recommended to me to try out because the other products that I tried from Drunk Elephant just really weren't working out. Sorry about that. My card just died, but where were we? The PROTINI moisturizer. It is incredible. I was using the PROTINI mixed along with the BIOLUM-C for my moisturizer, and that clip that you guys saw of my skin, that's what it had done within like 3 months. Like that is how great it was. I had like no breakouts, and if I did have a breakout, it was gone within like a day or two. I used it day and night. If you guys are looking for a good moisturizer and you guys have a skin type like mine, definitely would recommend splurging on that one. So the other one I wanted to mention is the Sunday Riley products. This is the C.E.O. Glow Vitamin C and Turmeric Face Oil. It's really great. My only thing with this one is that you have to only use a few drops. If you have dry skin, you may really like it because it's got an oil. It's an oil, so it's going to be really hydrating. I only use a half a drop of this, and I mix it in with my night moisturizer, and it just really hydrates my skin, leaves my skin really nice and subtle in the morning. And I've noticed that any dryness that I've had with acne medication that I use, hardly ever there. I don't like the smell of this. You get used to it. It lingers for a few minutes. I don't care for the smell, but smells aside, it works. So that's everything that I recommend from my Sephora recommendations. Quite a lot of products. There are a lot of things to check out from Sephora. You could get lost on that website or in store, but if you guys are looking for some good recommendations, some products that I would totally repurchase, products that I would recommend to you guys, these are them. If you guys want to know more about them, I have everything linked down below. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you guys who really wanted to see this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to my channel. I appreciate you guys watching. And if you guys are already subscribed, just make sure you hit that notification bell so that on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays when I upload at 6 p.m., you guys are notified. And that's it. I love you guys, and I will see you guys all later. Bye.